and move past.
Thank you,
So
Kalpesh. Just recorded this. Sorry.
my pleasure. Thank you, Tokozani. So I just want to start where Tokozani left off with regards to making sure that, you know, you leave your, if you like, skeletons behind. You know, life is tough. Just get that. Life is tough. And for every step you climb up, you have to expect somebody or something will push you back down. It's the nature of moving forward. It's the nature of growth. As I think of my journey as an entrepreneur, from the age of 11 onwards, I started my first hustle. And I can tell you, even in my first hustle, there were troubles, there were challenges, there were times when I would turn up at school in the beginning, before I had my bodyguards. I would turn up at school with my bag full of chocolates and Coke, and the bullies of the school would steal my bag and run off. Before I even started that, they would steal my dinner tickets, my lunch tickets. Any money that I might have had in my pockets would get stolen because, you know, big fish eat little fish. And in the playground, the bullies, the gang members, they had the advantage of groups, and people like myself who were more thinkers and mind-led didn't have those, if you like, resources. And so we were taken advantage of. And, you know, my skin color was against me. As a youth, I was a skinny little guy that was the wrong color in the wrong postcode. So all of those challenges. If I let any of that hold me back, I never would have done 99% of the things that I've done with my life. And so the first thing that I was learning in those early years, life is tough. There are always going to be people that will oppose you. They will fight you. They will challenge you. They will judge you. They will misjudge you. They will do everything in their power to keep you at their level. And I was blessed. I learned some amazing lessons from my parents from the early years. They were, and my mom still is, they were amazing mentors to me. And I remember once I came home from primary school and I was beaten up by some kids for being brown. And so, you know, I was abused racially, verbally. I was beaten up after school. I came home with some blood running down my nose and a cut on my eyebrow, and some blood trickling down there. And I came home like this. And instead of getting sympathy from my mom and dad, they actually were quite stern with me. First, they were upset that something had happened. They said, "What happened?" So I explained to them. And then my dad said some really profound, we had some profound conversations around it. And he said something that stayed with me forever from those young ages. And he said, there are two ways you can deal with this. Number one is you can get angry and start becoming like them, and you will start fighting them. Or number two, you will understand what they don't understand. And I was like, what does that even mean, right? How can I understand something they don't understand? What does that mean? And he said, you have to learn to rise above where they are. If you do what they do, you're stuck where they are. And that determines the rest of your life. If you can find the power within to rise above, now you have the advantage, because that, if you like, that mindset where their words don't hurt you or their physical attack doesn't affect you, where it's indifferent. See, bullies get pleasure when there's a response or reaction. When there isn't, it's a little bit boring for them. They will find somebody else who they can get a reaction from. They want a reaction. They want their emotions to be expressed outside of themselves. So when you don't give them the reaction that they want, it becomes pointless for them. And it worked. Over time, they were pacified. They had to take their energy elsewhere. But here's what else happened. Because I kept, if you like, my enemies close. Over time, as my business started and I started thriving and flourishing as a young entrepreneur, some of the same people that were bullies to me before became my protectors as I rose as an entrepreneur. And so I guess these lessons have taught me that in all businesses, the dynamics of big fish eat little fish and the dynamics of being challenged, being bullied, being fought against, all of these things are always there in one way, shape, or form, or whether it's the internet that is attacking you, or friends, previous friends or perceived friends that are attacking you, or even open and outright enemies that are attacking you. One thing remains true, that if you can learn to rise above this, then you win. It's as simple as that. If you don't learn to rise above this, then you stay where they are. And once you understand this simple notion, you have all of the advantages in life, because look around. There are multiple examples in your life right now. And it'll be good if you can make some notes around this for your own advantage. Write some names of people that have attacked you verbally or online, or in whichever way they have made a personal vendetta or attack against you, and you could not expect that they would do that. People that you have helped, people that you had good intentions with, that you helped to grow, to learn, to nurture, to move forward. All of the reality of the situation versus how they then decided to perceive it and turn it. Write some names down, because these are reminders for you as to where you could be stuck if you go to that level. So if you can think of people who have given you a hard time, jot those names down, because these are your, if you like, vitamin pills. These are your reminders that you're past that, your benchmark. So it's important to understand the power of recovery is in our hands. The power of the speed of recovery is in our hands. You can feel sorry for yourself for days when something untoward happens, when something unexpected happens. You can feel sorry for yourself for weeks. You can feel sorry for yourself for months. And some people even feel sorry for themselves for years, and they carry the burden like a cross on their back for decades at a time. And all it does is keep them where they are, nothing more. It just keeps them where they are. They get stuck. And for me, one of the biggest learnings is to learn to get unstuck. It's a little bit like, I don't know if you've seen those mouse traps, gluey sticky pads that you can put on the floor. And when the mouse runs across it, it gets stuck. Do you have those there in South Africa, Tokozani? Sticky
Yes,
pads, same kind of thing, right?
yes,
So when the mouse, what happens with those, when the mouse is running, initially, it's just the feet, tiny feet that are stuck on the glue. Now, if they were calm and collected, they have the energy and the strength to take one paw off and move, then the next one and move. And then, so they're not stuck because their hands are stuck on the glue. The hands are a temporary problem. What makes them stuck is that they then panic and they fight the glue. They stop to fight. And it's a fight they cannot win. So if the enemy is the glue, the enemy had very little impact initially. The hands were stuck, but one hand at a time, they can, if they were calm enough and smooth enough, come off of the other side. But because they fight, what gets stuck is the fur. They start struggling, rolling around, bang. Then moving becomes painful. Any short, sharp moves hurts them. It's the same kind of analogy. See, network marketing is an industry that is misunderstood globally already. So number one, you have to understand that the masses don't understand network marketing. All right? That's a given. And there's a reason for that. All right? Governments, large institutions hate people to know the power of certain things in life. One of those things is network marketing. Why is that so obvious? Well, Amway is the world's first network marketing company that took the American government to court because the American government pointed at them and said, you are operating illegally. You are a Ponzi. You are a Ponzi illegal pyramid scheme. Amway had the foresight and the financial strength at that time to fight the government of the USA. And guess what? They won. Boom. If it wasn't for that happening, the industry would have been stopped in its tracks 100 years ago. Because they won the case, there was a distinction made, a distinction between illegal Ponzi pyramid schemes and a beautiful industry called network marketing, which, by the way, over that 100 years has created more millionaires than any other single industry in the history of the world. A profound results. Now, what's more exciting for me is not that it's created more millionaires than any other industry, but it has definitely created more financial freedom for more people. Not everyone becomes a millionaire in network marketing, for sure, in any industry. Not everyone becomes a millionaire in any industry on the planet. It's a very small percentage that get to those staggering heights. But what network marketing allows is ordinary people to go much further than they ever could without it. Listen to what I just said. Network marketing allows ordinary folk to progress much further in their life than they ever could without it. And so for me, it is a non-negotiable. As far as I'm concerned, every human on the planet must do something to understand this industry better so they can increase the odds of progressing. Because otherwise, without it, you're stuck where you're stuck. You live where you live, and there's no moving forward. Not smoothly anyway. There are many other options, side hustles, if you like. There are many side hustles in life. You can become a drop shipper on Amazon, for example. You can become an affiliate marketer. You can become an influencer. You can become a singer, a rock star, pop star. You can become an actor. You can become a part-time sports personality, whatever. There are many things you might be able to do part-time on the side, a hustle, to give you a chance to move forward in your life. But none of those other options give the average person an above average opportunity to progress. And progress means an extra 200 a month, 500 a month, 1,000 a month. These are the real numbers of network marketing. That should be the most exciting. Yes, if you're extraordinary, if you're able to really sharpen your saw on weeknights and weekends, if you're able to dedicate yourself and commit yourself and be as consistent, excuse me, as anybody in any field that masters their craft, if you're one of those people and you manage to achieve 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month, 50,000 a month, 100,000 a month or more, if you're one of those super blessed people that gets those kind of figures, congratulations. But that's not the norm, like in anything. If you're one of those lucky, blessed people that is able to move up the career ladder at work, and you go from being a junior to a senior to a manager to a upper manager to a board member, if you're blessed to get all of those breakthroughs in rank advancement in a career ladder, congratulations. But you're one of the few. There's only ever one bank manager in any bank. There's only room for one. There can't be two of you. The beautiful thing about network marketing, there can be as many people as you want at the top of the ranks. There's no cap on the number of people that can reach the top of any rank. So again, when you look at the comparisons of what is out there, then by far network marketing is, and until now, there's been no competition, is the only system in the world that gives us this. So fall in love with the idea of what it can give you. Are there a lot of thorns wrapped around it? Yes. Is there some glue around? Yes. Can you get stuck with stuff? Yes. Learn to be smart. That's why mastery is important. Learn to know your industry so that when you hit a glue patch, you know how to get yourself out of it rather than get yourself tangled up in it. Keep the volume down of anything that takes away from you and holds you back, and increase the volume of anything that helps you progress, that helps you get off of that sticky sheet. And that's where you've got to do the mind work. It's a mental game. The entire life is a mental game, right? Life is a mental game. And so network marketing shouldn't be any different. It's a mental game. The more you are ahead in your mind, the more likely you will get ahead in the field. It's a perfect correlation. And that's why network marketing always tells people honestly. You won't get the same honesty in corporate ladders. You won't get the same honesty in other fields as you do in network marketing. That it is your leadership skills. As you deliver better and better leadership skills, you create better and better results. And it is, success has always been and will always be that simple formula. So there's a common thread amongst all successful entrepreneurs. And that common thread is some basics that you cannot move away from, universal laws. So the universal laws of success in our industry particularly will start with the mindset. You have to work on and continually keep your mind ahead of your enemies, ahead of the naysayers, ahead of the possibility thieves. You have to keep your mind ahead of them. Then you have to keep your activity levels ahead of the pack. Leaders lead by example, not with words. Managers lead with words. Leaders lead with example or by example. And so your daily activities have to be one step higher than what you would like your team to do. If you wish your team would make 10 calls a day, you must be making 11. You cannot wish your team to make 10 calls a day while you sit there with your feet up watching Netflix and then you call them up, hey, have you made your calls today? It's never going to work. Lead by example. Your results inspire them to produce their own results. So lead with results. So consistency in action and more action than the people that you are aiming to inspire and lead. So be a demonstrator of success, not just a speaker of it. The other thing in network marketing, success does love speed in many industries, but in particular network marketing, because network marketing gives you the advantage of momentum, and momentum comes with speed. And so if you're going to speak to 100 people, speak to them quickly rather than over 6 months. Some of us speak to people once in a while. Your business will grow once in a while. Some of us speak to people every single day. Your business will grow every single day. So just understand the very simple universal laws that work. So, working on yourself, working on your activities, and then helping your team to do the same. Help your team to grow and develop their mindsets and grow and develop their activity levels. And then measure regularly. It's foolish to be massively active and not to be productive. Just because you're taking lots of action does not mean you are progressing. I would rather you take a lot of action and not progress than not take action at all, for sure. But then the next step is to measure the results or the fruits of your labor so that you can improve the actions. It's the improved actions that you're looking for. When you find the gap between the activities that you're doing and the ones that you could be doing that produce the results. And so easy measurements of that are rank advancements and incomes, of course. That's another reason network marketing works. It proportionally rewards you to those two keys. The key of the numbers in your organization and the numbers on your wallet, on your income. There's a reflection of progress. So there's no delusion. There's no kidding yourself in network marketing. See, this is where this becomes very different to traditional business environments. There are many, many, many stories of people around the world that know, people working in an office that show up a little bit late, they leave a little bit early, they take longer breaks, they snooze in between jobs, in between to-do activities, and they get away with it because many jobs have a very low level of accountability. But in network marketing, it's pure accountability with you and your results. So make sure that your results are monitored, measured, and improved on a consistent basis. These are just some basic things, right? And then understand that there is a price to be paid, sacrifice. Now, sacrifice doesn't have to be a negative thing. A lot of people think of sacrifice as a negative. Listen, not making a sacrifice is the negative. It's your relationship to that word. If you do not make a sacrifice in your diet, you'll pay the price. You have to make a sacrifice. You have to sacrifice too many Coca-Colas. You have to sacrifice too many McDonald's. You have to sacrifice too much unhealthy eating. And then you get the benefit of making those sacrifices. And you see, if you don't make the sacrifices, you'll pay the price. If you eat too much McDonald's and KFC and drink too much Coca-Cola and don't move enough, guess what? The odds of illness and weakness and bad health are against you. So you have to sacrifice in everything. If you don't sacrifice your Friday nights for a night in with your loved ones on a regular basis, you'll pay the price eventually. You have to be willing to sacrifice something to get the benefit of the something else. And network marketing is no different. It requires some sacrifice. So you have to commit to a schedule and then don't deviate from that schedule. And then the beginning, when you're new, you must enroll your family, your immediate loved ones. You must enroll them into supporting you to do what it takes for you to win, so they win. Because it's not going to be easy, but it might be 2 nights a week, 3 nights a week, where you're going to be sitting on a Zoom for an hour or 2. And your family, if they're on your side, you will be paying attention, you'll be comfortable, you'll be learning, you'll be growing, you will be doing what you are supposed to do, and you will excel. If you have not managed to enroll them in the idea of this sacrifice, and if they're on your back, if they're constantly giving you funny looks, if they're constantly giving you verbal headache every time you do your homework, every time you're on your Zoom, you're learning, you're studying, you're presenting, you're attending a presentation, you're growing your business, every time you're doing that, if you're getting a negative reaction from your immediate environment, it will have its toll over time on the relationships. And then you'll pay a price there as well. So make sure that you understand that there's a price to pay, and then enroll those around you to support you in paying that price for a season, and make up for it in the off season. All right. So negotiate that. It could be like 3 weeks on, 1 week off. You know, it's like three weeks, you're doing 3 nights a week. 1 week, you might just do 1 night a week. Find out what the strongest happy medium for everybody is. You might be super blessed and have a partner that has no issue with you sacrificing 5 nights a week and weekends for a season to get into top gear, to get into first gear. Brilliant. If you want to be that A game player, do that. I'm super blessed. I'm surrounded by people who understand these things. So the common thread you will see amongst leaders, amongst producers, amongst people who are recognized for being formidable in anything in life is oftentimes their ability to be consistent, even though they have every reason not to be. I can promise you this, every single leader that has fallen has fallen way, way, way deeper than somebody that was not leading, that fell. So when a participant, if you like, falls over, it's painful, even at the ground floor level. Now imagine the leader has the same experience, but it's sometimes hundreds of times more painful, thousands of times more painful. So understand that there's a price to pay for leadership as well. Understand that if you decide to lead, be prepared for the big falls. It's the nature of progress and success. And guess what? Here's the beautiful thing though. When you make this decision to lead and you decide to climb higher heights and you learn that falling is not permanent, then because you have seen higher peaks, when you get back up, you'll climb the peaks much more efficiently because you know where they are. You know how to get there. You've already tasted what it is to climb. And then the other thing is being responsible around the decisions that you're making. So falling is not a bad thing as long as you're learning from the fall. If you fall over on concrete, on tarmac, you will cut your knees, you will bleed, your elbows will bleed, maybe your face will bleed depending on how you landed. But next time you're walking on tarmac, you have to be mindful to not be so susceptible to falling. If you fall on grass, unlikely you will bleed. Maybe some bruises. So understand the dynamics of all business decisions. If you're making business decisions to work on tarmac, then you'll always be bleeding when things don't work out. If you choose better surroundings, better environments, better circumstances, make better choices, then even if you fall, you are somewhat protected in that your decision-making mechanisms have improved. So don't keep making the same mistakes over and over again. I don't know who wrote that, but that's just foolishness. Learn to make better mistakes. You will always make mistakes, but make better ones. Improve the mistakes you're making so that eventually, whenever things don't work out and you land on your butt, you're not bleeding. Right now, for example, for those that are in crypto, and I'm going to assume everyone on this call is in crypto, then you know that we are going through boom times. Crypto is having a mega momentum phase right now. Bitcoin has doubled in value in the last few months. It's gone up by 50% in the last couple of weeks. And people that were in and positioned are having the best time of their lives. But I can also tell you this, there is very potentially a pullback coming. And for those that have gone all in and are dependent on the income from what is going on the upside, if the pullback happens, they have to be prepared to bleed. Provided if they are holding Bitcoin, not a problem. Holders don't care if it goes up or down because they don't fall. Holders never fall. Holders know one thing, it always goes up long term. But if you're trying to catch the market, if you're trading it, if you're buying it and selling it, trying to get in and out, then make sure you don't get burnt. Otherwise, you can. There will be a lot of people bleeding if there's a pullback, and there is one expected before the next halving. So just be mindful of that. Again, it's awareness. It's knowing the field that you're playing on and being prepared for both sides of the results. Then there's no point crying if there's a pullback to 30,000 and you bought at 60. You don't cry at that point. You live with that decision. Or you don't buy at 60 and, you wait for the halving to happen and see if there's an adjustment. And then you get in. The beautiful thing is it's never too late to get in because the long-term direction is up. We know that already from history. All right. Provided we go with the narrative that crypto is here to stay, then the long term is here to grow. That's just a given. So the ups and the downs in between almost don't matter, depending on where you are at play. So again, understanding the decisions you're making. Somebody said to me this morning, actually, from the US, he called me up, a friend of mine, Ben. He's a software developer. We had a conversation around 6 months ago. He was like, Kalpesh, how are you doing? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. We're having a whole conversation. And at that time, he said to me, so which cryptos he was in crypto. Which cryptos should I buy? He said, I've got some money. Which cryptos do you recommend I buy? And I said, just stick to the top 10. I said, you don't need to do any more than that. And he bought his crypto back then. And he called me up today to thank me profusely. And he was like, what should I do now? Should I be selling them? It's gone up hugely, blah, blah. And I said, no. I said, no. I said, you remember the other thing I told you? I said, buy and forget. I said, this is nothing. I said, sell in 2025 if you want to. That's another conversation. But for now, don't try and sell in between the highs and the lows. Wait for the cycle to mature. This is the beginning of the cycle. It's nothing. It will still go down. It will still go up. It will still go down. It will still go up. But at some point, if you look at 2025, end of 2025, that time you can say, right, do I want to cash out? Yes. You should definitely, revisit in a couple of years. But until then, forget about it. So buy and forget. But of course, not everyone is in a position to buy and forget. a lot or a large amount. So certainly a percentage of your wealth should be buy and forget. The other percentage could be used for creating cash flow. And then that's the other thing. Cash flow is created because of your ability and your skill to leverage, to duplicate. There are more people in the industry that have made multiple 5 figures and 6 figures and even 7 figures because of the power of network marketing, because of the power of leverage, than because of the power of their own money. I know people that will come into an MLM company and put in $100,000 and make $10,000 a month. And they're happy making $10,000 a month. It's extraordinary. But I know more people that come in with $1,000 and make $100,000 a month because of leverage. So the power of this beautiful industry of network marketing is the leverage. And that's why there's no other industry in the world that can compete, because once you master the skills of building and developing leadership and duplicating and growing organizations worldwide, then the sky really is the limit. And the numbers speak for themselves. So this is, for me, the love that I have, that anyone can learn those skills. They're not technical skills. They're not, IT skills. They are human skills. They are soft skills. They are life skills. The ability to communicate with other human beings, to lead, to inspire, to motivate, to teach, to educate, to lift, to train others, to duplicate, to encourage. These are things that all of us can learn to do. And many of us already do. If you're a parent, you know what I'm talking about. If you have parents, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes our partners are encouraging us and we're encouraging them, helping them, being there for them, holding their hand through the tough times, pulling them up when they're down, and then them pulling us up when we're down, etc. These are the skills you're learning in this industry. How to be a team, how to be a family, how to be one. So you do less of the blame game and more of the unity game. Own your decisions. Leaders make the same decisions as the newest person that just joined this morning. The same decisions were made. They saw the same information. They made the same decision. So if suddenly a company decides to do a U-turn on its promises, don't blame the leaders. This often happens in our industry, and it's a shame when you see that, because the very leaders that are doing everything they can and making all the sacrifices to lead are the ones that then have the stones thrown at them, and that's never fun. So again, this is all about maturing as a networker. If you want to be a leader, then don't throw stones at leaders, because otherwise one day you'll be encouraging others to throw stones at you. You see what I'm saying? Stone throwers don't make leaders. Stone throwers remain stone throwers. So if you want to lead, stop throwing stones and start leading. You see the difference? Understand that businesses will grow and they will also collapse. Of course, there's a lot you can do for yourself in evaluating businesses before making decisions. This is something I am super, super meticulous about and mega passionate about. Anyone that knows me knows this. I am the hardest person to recruit on the planet. And once recruited, I'm the most loyal and most committed and the most loving for that project that you'll ever find. I marry the company completely. But that's why for me, marrying is a huge decision. I don't get engaged to companies. I don't go on dates with companies. If you go on dates and get engaged to companies, not quite knowing the full story, when you fall, you're going to bleed. It's a marriage. So check everything, inside out, upside down, back to front. Every single thing you can possibly do as far as due diligence goes, do it before committing to anything. And then commit with everything. Once you have full clarity, then you have full power. Does that mean it can never go wrong? Of course not. Marriages do fail. Doesn't mean it can't go wrong. It means the odds of it going wrong are much, much less likely. the sustainability of it is much, much, much higher. So you move from playing on tarmac to playing on grass. Can you see? So there's differences in the way a master plays the game versus an amateur plays the game or a newbie plays the game. Everyone has to work through the different tiers to understand how that works. So these are some of the things that you can start pondering on and working on for yourself internally, and have the conversations. Have the conversations with yourself on a regular basis. Your inner compass knows always. Trust that. Some of us don't trust ourselves enough. Your inner compass knows. The more you are in touch with that, what many call sixth sense, the more you can get in touch with your gut instinct, or otherwise, as I like to call it, your God energy, then deep down you know. Deep down, when you meditate on it, when you focus on it, when you think on it, if you ask the right questions, you do all of the right checkings, and you do the right homework, and you do everything you can, then you know if something's going to be for better or for worse. You know if something is going to be something that's going to last or very short term. You get that gut instinct, you get that feel. And again, the more you do, the sharper that gets, like everything in life, because you start having more experiences. So it's kind of a chicken and egg scenario. It's a catch-22. You'll never know until you do it, and you'll never do it until you know. It's one of those things, right? So you can't just sit on the sidelines forever and not do anything but judge everything. That doesn't do anything either. There are plenty of those people too scared to do anything. You have to be willing to take risks, always. Without risk, there is no reward. Understand that. Without risk, there's no reward. The two are connected, risk and reward. Then all that matters is the ratio of the risk to the ratio of the reward. This is where we have to measure. Is the risk worth the reward or not? And then, of course, at what cost? I often say, and you may have heard me say this many, many times, if making money is the only goal, first of all, it's a very boring goal. But second of all, there are much easier ways to make money than network marketing. For example, buying and selling drugs or robbing a bank. Yep, robbing a bank is probably easier than network marketing. I'm not saying you should do these things. I'm saying if making money is the only goal, then you don't need to go through the pain of growing through network marketing. You get what I'm saying? So then there's much more than just making money. There has to be some kind of value, some kind of personal desire for this industry outside of just money. Money is a byproduct of this industry. So for me, where are the strengths of the industry? It is that it's people-centric. Network marketing does not work without people. I hope you figured that one out. So it's people-centric, which means that your focus should be 100% on building yourself and building your people. Relationship building. Do not get that confused or collapsed with the opportunity. They're separate. Opportunities can come and go, but your relationships must remain a priority. When Tokozani reached out to me, it was actually today, I think today, right, Tokozani? Was it today or yesterday?
It was yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yes.
Tokozani reached out to me yesterday. Kalpesh, how are you? We haven't spoken in some time. And first, we just had a quick catch up. Great to hear from each other, of course. Always a beautiful blessing. We're always connected on social media, but hadn't heard his voice in a while. It was soothing. It was pleasing. It was beautiful to have a conversation. And then he made the request if I would come to this, of course. That's relationships. Once made in this industry, seldom forgotten. They become what I call my best friends on this planet are from this relationship. 25, 30-year-old relationships. Much, much deeper than any relationships outside of the industry. Much, much deeper. Because when you share the journey of network marketing, you share all of the emotions, all of them, the rough and the tough, the ups and the downs, the cuts and the bruises, the broken bones, you share all of it. So those bonds are never forgotten. You've been through something special. And so never forget that. Never, ever, ever forget what I do constantly is I remind myself of the first day of my experience of network marketing. That's what keeps me so fresh. That's what keeps me so in love with it. I remind myself of the first day, those feelings that I had when my eyes popped open, my mind was exploding with ideas, and I left that room floating. And I knew I was going to be a multimillionaire in 90 days. Did it happen? Of course not. Nothing happened in 90 days. But what happened in my mind in that room on the first day is I saw transformation. I suddenly saw something that was so amazing, and nothing in the world that I had seen, and to this date that I have seen, nothing in the world compares. I remind myself of that moment every single day. And that way, all of the tough times disappear in comparison to the up times. The up times are always way more worth it than we give ourselves credit for. So the truth is, if you understand the industry, then you're in love with it. And if you're in love with it, don't suffer it. Don't make anything painful. Will painful things happen? Always. Don't make them any more painful than they need to be. Move away from the pain as quickly as possible. Dust yourself back off and climb again and again and again and again, and keep climbing until you die. It's as simple as that. Or if you find something better, like I say, for me, in 54 years of living, and having seen and tried and done every single thing on the planet, there's literally, I don't think there's anything I've not done. I've done export, import, I've done distribution, I've done wholesale, I've done printing, I've done manufacturing. I've tried every single thing you can think of. Amazon drop shipping, website building, anything that came along, anything that was a trend. I've sold broadband, I've sold telecom services, I've sold travel, anything, like you name it. If there was a trend in the world, I've been involved in it as the business person, not the consumer, the seller. Insurance, you name it. Like, I can't think of anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, literally, if there's an industry that people were making money and were progressing, I've gone and done it all. And I did it with vigor and with enthusiasm and with everything I had. That's called being open-minded. Remain open-minded always. Did I succeed in all of those things? Of course not. I've lost more fortunes than I care to remember in all of the endeavors that I've tried, but be a trier. Give it a go. I'd rather give it a go and lose than not give it a go and never, ever have the chance to win. This is the only difference, right? And it's not for everybody. I'm always saying that. The journey of an entrepreneur is not for everybody. And if it's not you, then don't pretend. Don't be a pretender. That's going to be painful. If you're a pretend entrepreneur, then every time you fall, it's going to hurt way more than it's worth it. But if you're not a pretend entrepreneur, if you're a committed entrepreneur, falling is part of the journey. It's cool. Accept it, embrace it. Like I said, learn to make better decisions from it. Learn and grow from your falls so that you can make better decisions going forward. But the one thing, like I said, that when you look at all of the different things I did, the one thing that network marketing gave me that no other industry could give me was the bliss of the relationships, the depth of the relationships, the connections that were made and forged over those decades that to this day ring true. Priceless. You just cannot put a price on that. It's an incredible and unspoken gift of the industry. And so focus on that. Be grateful always for the amazing people that have got your back, that want you to win. They actually want you to win. What an environment. The only environment in the world where everybody wants you to win, despite of whether they're your upline or your sideline or your team member, doesn't matter. There's nobody in network marketing when you start building a team that wants somebody else in the team to lose, because all ships rise in a rising tide. And if there are people that want people to lose, it's because they're not professional network marketers. That's all. They're still amateurs. They're still babies in the game. But once you become a professional in this industry, then you want everyone to win. Whether or not there's a direct benefit is irrelevant. You just want everyone to win. What an environment. So I'm going to stop there. I think we've nearly wrapped up about 50 minutes of sharing. I want to pass it back to the host of the evening and my dear friend, my brother from another mother, all the way in a beautiful South Africa continent that I love. My, my roots are there. I've been there more than 50 times now, and I love the country to bits, and I have a huge affinity. Thokozani, back to you, brother.
Kalps, thank you very much for a stellar session where you are dishing out nuggets, on how to win in the industry of network marketing. I was literally, let me see, sorry, my background here, I was literally taking notes. I had my pen and paper, taking notes, because the information that you have shared with all of us here, if one can take it, apply it in their lives, they'll definitely see the results. So thank you very much. Priceless information. I mean, one has, had the privilege to be in one room with you, Kalpesh, dishing out these beautiful sessions. That was, so much amazing. And I believe everybody on this call has harvested some real content, which if they apply in their lives will move from one level to another level. So thank you very much for that, Kalps.
My pleasure.
I'm going to open the floor for questions, because Kalps, the honest reality is that year 2023, or it becomes a norm that a year before Bitcoin halving, a whole lot of companies will come, collect people's Bitcoins, and 3 months, 4 months, 5 months down the line, they are gone. It's been blood on the streets of network marketing. I don't lie. And as a result, a whole lot of people are now reluctant to give network marketing a chance. What can you say to those people? I know you have said a mouthful, but what can you say to people who have gotten their fingers bent and they don't want anything to do with network market? They are scared, basically. They are scared. They don't want to move. You've already said that, but for the benefits of those who are unable to ask questions and probably they have questions, what can you say to those people, Kalps?
I would be scared of not moving. I would be more scared of not moving than moving. I'd be scared of opting myself out than opting myself in. That's the real fear. Because what else have you got?
What else have you got?
So yes, as I said, it's tough sometimes. It's up and it's down. Nothing's always up. Everything has balance. Life is like that. It's a day and then it's night. The sea comes in and the sea goes out. It's the nature of everything in life is flow and ebb. It's the nature of everything. And why should network marketing or crypto be any different? And so opting yourself out, excluding yourself from the games, means you cannot win. So you have to be in it to win it in the first place. Like I said, be smarter next time, be more aware, do a lot more due diligence, a lot more study, a lot more understanding. Don't throw hard-earned money into the pockets of scamsters easily. You know what I mean? It's like, be demanding of something with integrity, be demanding of something that has transparency, something's upstanding. Be more demanding of that, and be tough on yourself to learn deeper so that you fall less often. These are the kind of important lessons for me in transitioning from amateur to professional. Like, really take responsibility on evaluation skills, due diligence skills. Never be in a rush or a hurry to make any decisions ever. Make sure the decisions that you make are on solid ground and well-founded.
Thank you very much, Kalps. I'm going to now ask you a very difficult question. And I'm asking you this because I've seen it happen to a lot of people who are leaders. You have, shared, you have helped people, like I've mentioned in the beginning of the call, you have helped so many people achieve great success in the industry. But when things go wrong, Kalps, the very same people that you are trying to help will come throwing stones at you. You've spoken about throwing of stones, don't throw stones on leaders if you aspire to become a leader, because it will happen to you one day.
Mm.
So how do you deal with that situation where you have tried to help people, things go wrong, they come throwing stones on you? How do you overcome that, Kalps?
Look, you can never stop somebody from doing what is inside of them to do. So if that's all they're committed to doing, you can't stop that. As I said, all you can do is rise above them and catch the ones that are not committed to it. So have the conversation that, listen, look, this can go two ways. You can keep throwing stones and abuse and all of that. Fine, your prerogative to do that. And if that's what you want to do, I'll respect it. And I'll let you carry it. It doesn't affect me, and I'll respect it. You can swear at me, you can throw stones at me, you can do whatever you want to do. Of course it hurts. You're a human being at the end of the day, but the hurt is not going to stay. I'm not going to get stuck on that sticky paper. I'll carry on moving anyway. And if you're committed to getting past that blame game and taking responsibility like I do as a leader, I take responsibility for the good, the bad, and the ugly, then let's do that together. Let's be responsible decision makers together and make the next decision bigger and better and stronger. So it separates the true people from the fake people, if you like. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
One that's throwing stones is somebody that doesn't want to take responsibility for their decision. They want to find somebody else to blame. It's a nonsense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Kalps. TK Merv says, eagles always rise above the storm. That's brilliant. That's true. We've got Mr. Mchemla in the house here. Sivuyile. Leadership Mchemla, one of the gentlemen who also had, that privilege to be in one room with you, Kalps, when you were dishing out those leadership calls. Babu Mchemla, how are you?
I'm fine, my leader. And how are you, my leader?
Good to have you on the call, champion.
And how are you, my leader?
Amazing. How are you, brother?
Fine, Sir KP. And how are you, Sir KP?
Lovely. Good to hear your voice again.
Hey, unfortunately, load shedding is upon us, but I think my mouth is not closed. I will keep on talking, Sir KP.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Leadership Thokozani, for this initiative. Basically, Leadership KP, tough times never last, but tough people do.
Absolutely. One of my favorite
Thank
quotes.
you. Wow, Robert Schuller. I'm sorry, giant, one of the giants.